to the Tin Barn. I'm Pragmatic Lee and got a little project today that I'm not sure it's going to warrant its own video or if it'll be part of a tidbits video. But in any case, what I'm going to do is make it a little handle with a shoulder bolt. I had occasion a few days ago to go to guess where, Harbor Freight, and pick up this load leveler. I already have one of the Cherry Picker engine lifts. It's not from Harbor Freight, basically the same thing. Came from Tractor Supply. But I've been wanting one of these load levelers. Today is a Saturday, pouring down rain outside. I'm not sure if you can hear it beating on the Tin Barn or not, but in a couple of days, on Monday, I'm going to ride down the road a bit, about 120 miles, to look at a surface grinder. If everything pans out all right, the price is reasonable on it. If the machine looks okay, I plan to bring it home with me. I hope the rain will let off a little bit then. They're calling for rain all next week, but it's going to get a complete, I'm not going to say complete tear down, but it's going to get a good cleaning, and if I do purchase it and bring it back. But I wanted this load leveler to assist in getting off the truck. They're going to load it for me when I'm there, but I'll need some help getting it off. Let me get the camera around down here on the device itself and show you what it looks like. All right, this is the load leveler, and of course I'm sure you're familiar with the way it works. This hangs from your crane, Cherry Picker, or whatever, and this is on a threaded rod going back and forth, and you can use it with the lift chains. It comes with a set of lift chains or straps, whatever you want to use, to make it level if your lifting point is off center. And honestly, overall, I'm pretty well satisfied with it. Of course, there's no lube whatsoever in it. Definitely put some lube on these rollers here and where they roll on the housing and on the screw on the inside. But the one thing I am definitely disappointed in is the handle. It's a little shoulder bolt right here that is way thicker than the arm it's going into, and the way this is made to go in, the bolt goes through. The nut is to go on this side, up to the shoulder, I guess. But as you can see, it's trashy. And a little old cheap plastic handle to screw on there. And I'm guessing the nut should go back. And that just don't cut it. And I can barely get my 3 fingers on there. I don't have that big of hands, but it's just tiny. And when I think this surface grinder I'm looking at is supposed to weigh about 750 to 800 pounds. When I got that swinging in the air, I want something I can get hold of here, or when I got it in the air, it won't be swinging, I hope. So what we're going to do today is see if we can't make a butter bolt and handle here. I'm going to take a piece of 1/2 inch stock. I'm going to turn it down just a little ways on the end down here to be threaded. It'll go through and it'll be a lock nut on the back side. Then there'll be a shoulder on here, the thickness of this. I've used a gauge pen and determined about 413 thousandths will go through there. This is just a stamped hole, but 413 thousandths will go through. That will put the handle in here. Then I'm going to take a piece of 1 inch aluminum. That's going to leave about 4 inches over here that I can get my whole hand on. I'm going to take a piece of 1 inch aluminum. I'm going to knurl it. And in this end down here, I'll bore and tap for a 1/4 inch, a 1/4 screw to hold the handle on. The handle will turn on this. This will be held tight and secure in this arm right here. So I'm gonna get things set up on the lathe and be right back. Got a workpiece loaded in the collet chuck now, and we'll just touch off here, zero out my DRO. We want a 1/4 inch for the shoulder that's going to ride in or go through the arm, and about a 1/2 inch of thread out here. That part, the threaded part, is not all that important. So, but I'm going to come 3/4 of an inch and set my carriage stop. This is 1/2 inch stock thereabouts, whatever it comes from out of the hot roll press as. Let's see, 497 thousandths. We're going to make a little pass on this, get it cleaned up good where we can get a good measurement. I'm going to take about 40 thousandths to start with. It's 463. And our target was 413 thousandths. So we got 50 thousandths to go. This is 30 thousandths. I'll cut it and then we'll check again. $17 more thousandths. This is giving us just a little shoulder right there. I'm going to leave that a sharp shoulder. I won't try to chamfer that. All right, that's right on the money. So now what I want to do is come in here, zero out on the Z, and come back 1/4 of an inch. And put a little mark right here. And I'm also going to run our carriage stop out. Because what I want to do now is take this end down to 375 thousandths. It's 9 more thousandths. Now we'll put a little chamfer on that end there for the thread to lead in. Get the carriage out of the way. All right, I've got the 3/8 die in there now and got this ready to go. I'm going to pull it up a little bit with the tailstock, just get it started. Put a little cutting oil on. There we go. I'm going to turn this around now, or take it out. Check it out on the load leveler. Okay, back over here on the workbench now. Got our piece with our shoulder and our threads. That fits in there nicely. And again, this will lock down tight right here. We'll have a aluminum sleeve to go over this that will actually serve as the handle. And let's see what we've got left here. We got about 4.3. So I want to make this 4.25 and turn this back around in the lathe, face off this end, drill and tap it for 1/4 20. The workpiece is turning around in the collet now, and we're going to face this end off. This end is the factory end where it was sheared off, so it's a little skewed down there. But we're going to clean that up, take about 1/8 of an inch off this length for the handle. As long as I'm around 4 1/4 inches. Once I get this cleaned up, we'll drill and tap this for 1/4 20. Just wanted to make this plenty deep enough to that I've got threads. I think I've got probably some 1/2 inch socket head cap screws I'm going to use on this. Now I'll run a bottom tap in there just to be sure I got enough threads. All right, now I think it's time to get set up to work on the handle itself. As I said, the handle is actually going to slide over this from this shoulder out to here. I've got a piece of 1-inch stock in here now that we're going to drill out to go over that. But first thing I want to do is make a washer that's going to be a little less diameter than the 1 inch, with a 1/4 inch hole drilled through it to hold the handle on the end. So I've got a 1/4 inch marked off here. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and set my carriage stop. Now I'm going to take about 100 thousandths off. I'll take 50 at a time. This should be the 100 thousandths here. I heard you guys hollering at me. I heard you. Let's drill a hole in there first. Okay, I'll deburr that. Then we'll get set up to get our actual length on this. I'll dress that back up. We'll clean up this outside diameter and knurl it. All right, I've got the workpiece extended out now. I've got the live center in there and got the knurling tool on it. I've used some Scotch-Brite and cleaned it up a little bit. But we're going to try to put a fairly deep knurl in this. Got my RPMs turned down. I'm going to get plenty of lube on there. I put me a mark down here at where we want to knurl to and part off. All right, that's getting a good cut. I'm gonna get a little tighter on it. I'm gonna put the lathe in the other direction now. And feed back toward the tailstock. All right, I finished up the knurling and forgot to turn the camera back on, but I cleaned up the ends down here where I'm going to part it off, just to dress it up just a little bit. And I also realized that I didn't turn the camera on when I was drilling before I started the knurling, but anyhow, it's drilled and reamed for, I reamed it 1/1000 under a half, since our hot roll stock was a little bit shy of a half anyhow. So I'm gonna get started cutting here, and the only reason I'm using cutting fluid when I'm parting here is just to flush those chips out. Once I get in there a little ways, I'll stop and use the file and put a little chamfer on there. Now let's see how that fits our shoulder bolt. Got a burr down there in that end. Okay, so that's a good fit there. All right, I'm gonna clean this up, get over there to the load leveler, and we'll check out the finished product. Okay, I think we're ready to put the pieces together now. Again, here's our shoulder bolt. We got the two shoulders on here, and the other end drilled and tapped for a 1/4 20. That goes in there fine. I'm gonna put a little bit of thread lock. Thought I had some lock nuts, but I didn't have one in this size. So now we're ready to thread this on, or slide this on. And I see I got enough of a shoulder here for the washer to catch on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put just a drop or two of oil on there. Now we'll put a little bit of Loctite thread lock on our 1/4 20. The washer we made. And there's about 10, maybe 20 thousandths of play in there. All right, we're gonna tighten these together now. Hopefully they'll never come apart again. As you can hear from the squeaking, need some oil all the way down. I'm going to spread some rags, cloths out on the workbench over here, and oil it all up. I think this is going to be an improvement to this. I believe the load level is going to work good. And by the time you see this video, I will have either passed on the surface grinder I was looking at or thinking about, or it'll be sitting here in the shop, or hopefully it will be if I get it home safely and can get it unloaded and get it in here. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.